Hey, welcome attorneys. This is Sid Pedinti, the founder of Virtual Law Firm, and you are now tuned into the Virtual Law Firm video series as well as the podcast if you're listening to us. And today I want to talk about a topic that is very, very important that I'm sure has crossed your mind and you have thought about, or you may even be having internal conversations with yourself or internal conversations in your business with your partners, with your staff, with members of your company that you work with. How do you gain the unfair advantage in your market? I'm not just talking about how do you gain an upper hand or how do you gain an advantage, but how do you gain, and this is the key word, an unfair advantage. Now, if you break that down, and I'll just shoot straight through the rest of the webinar and just tell you my thoughts on this and my experiences on this whole topic. If you think about it, gaining an unfair advantage requires, well, two parts. Number one, having things that are going to separate you from the rest of your market. That's number one. The second piece of that is, so number one, it's the way you market yourself. And number two is the way you're working the market. Okay, so both of those in combination can really put you at the position where you're gaining this unfair advantage. And so I want to talk about 5 different ways of looking at this. And what I think, and in my mind, it's a requirement for you to understand 5 different components of transforming your business and you into the person who has the unfair advantage in your marketplace. I believe there's an internal transformation and an external, an outer transformation that needs to happen for this. The internal transformation is number one. It's the mindset transformation. It's very important because unless you believe, unless you think, unless you know that you have right now the capacity, the positioning, the tools, the assets, the intellectual property contained in your brain, as well as possibly in the physical form or intangible form, to dominate your market, to beat your competitors, to gain the clients who are looking for your kind of services online or maybe physically, that transformation needs to happen first. The internal transformation. You as a person needs to believe that you have the capacity to go dominate your market and gain this unfair advantage. Once you have that, and this could be done through, self-talk. Maybe you want to write it on a piece of paper and stick it up and look at it every day and tell yourself this. It's the way you think, it's the way you feel, it's the way you behave. Number 2 is the business transformation, the way you're conducting business. Number 3 is the marketing transformation, the way you're marketing your services or what you have to offer. And quite frankly, it's your legal expertise. And listen, if you're not an attorney and you're watching this, again, this applies to you as well. And no matter what market you think about, there are some market leaders. What are they doing? How are they marketing themselves? How are they conducting their business? How are they branding themselves? Okay, so marketing is number 3. Branding transformation is number 4. And number 5 is the operational transformation. How are your systems, the business systems? And we're going to dive into each of these components right now. So let's talk about number 1, the mindset transformation. How do you go from becoming the hunter, or right now you're probably the hunter, hunting for clients. So how do you go from the hunter mode into the hunted mode? Or rather, becoming the hunted. Okay, that's what this is all about. Becoming the person that people are reaching out to work with. Because now you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you have the intellectual assets that you can offer, the solutions that you can offer that enable you to solve someone's problem better than anybody else that they're looking at. or have come across. And that's what this is about. It's the mindset transformation in creating a channel so that you become the person that is hunted in your industry, in your specific niche, whether it's a business lawyer, an estate lawyer, immigration, criminal, or even if you're not a lawyer, accounting, medicine, no matter what technology, whatever you talk about, any industry. And of course, I want to focus specifically on the legal industry here, but this strategy applies across the board. It's to become the hunted. That's how the market leaders are dominating the space, because the way they publish content, the way they market themselves is completely different from everybody else. So that's how they stick out. And then secondly, you need to have a business transformation. So now we're getting into the external factors. More specifically, the things that you can actually do, the actions you can take in your business to become the premium source of authority. And that's what this is about. It's having the business transformation. So first is the internal, and it's beyond, hey, I can make money online. Look, it's proven. Everybody makes money online. That's the way to do it. And even traditional industries like medicine and law, you can make money online, okay? It's a no-brainer. That's the way the world is headed. There are tools out there, there are platforms out there, there are online payment processing systems, etc., etc. But it's more a mindset shift and a transformation in not just that I can make money online. Yes, you can easily make money online. It's about I can gain the unfair advantage in my market versus my competitors by following these 5 transformational systems. So the second is a business transformational system. Here we're talking about creating an educational center. And I believe the world is headed into the era where information is king, content is king. Education has the capacity to change lives. Even Nelson Mandela said it, education and knowledge are the keys to moving and advancing society. So that fundamental line by Nelson Mandela still holds to you in your business today. He might have said it 50 odd years ago, but it applies today to you for you to gain this unfair advantage. How much of your time have you focused on creating educational content and helping your prospects or your database or your customers change the way they think, the way they feel, the way they act, the way they conduct their business or go about their lives, to expose content to them that makes them think, aha, this is something I did not consider. Just this morning, I was on a call with an estate attorney who had all this amazing knowledge and in-depth strategies about how the law impacts someone, for example, who lives in Texas. He was from Dallas. And he got into the nuances of probate law, specifically about that there's no right of survivorship if a husband and wife are married and one person passes away, especially when it comes to real estate and they own a joint piece of real estate, as an example. Did you know that in Texas there's no right of survivorship? Well, I did not know that. I'm not a Texas lawyer. I'm a California lawyer. But in California, I believe there's this right of survivorship. Now, does that impact the average family in Texas? Absolutely. Does it impact somebody who owns a real estate? Absolutely. Does it have a major impact? Of course. All of a sudden, the husband cannot, or the wife, whoever is a surviving member, does not have automatic rights over the other person, their spouse's property. It has to go through probate. It has to be assigned to them. Well, that's a big deal, right? So knowledge like this, nuggets, I'm just going to call them nuggets, that you possess can be shared with your market in a way that makes your clients go, aha, this is the person I need to reach out. So what are you doing here in terms of business transformation? You are going from hunter mode, where you're just trying to put ads, for example, best law firm, best business lawyer, estate lawyer, come hire me, whatever it may be, into educator mode, problem solver mode, the resource center mode. So now you become the trusted source of authority because you're educating someone. You're changing somebody's life. Okay? That is how this is done. That is something you can act on today, and it doesn't require you to spend money. You already possess this knowledge. As an attorney, you've been through law school, you've been practicing. You possess very specific and highly valuable intellectual property that's embedded somewhere in your brain that you need to extract, create content out of it, educational content, and educate your marketplace. So it's something that as simple as that you can take action on today by creating and distributing to the market that will enhance your positioning, enhance your authority, and build goodwill. And people see you now as the problem solver, the source of information. So when they go to Google and type up, what happens in Texas after probate, there's someone who's educating someone about this. And there's different ways to penetrate the market by doing this. There's so many ways in which you can attack the same market that is a red ocean and turn it into a blue ocean. So that's what this is about. It's that blue ocean mentality, but taking it in a way that you become the hunted, you become the king of the ship that everybody else wants to come and jump on. So how do you structure it? Well, that's how you do it. From a business standpoint, you start creating educational content and focus your attention on educating your audiences. By doing this, you're out teaching your competitors, not outspending them. You don't have to go and spend the most amount of dollars on pay-per-click or SEO or advertising, but it's about out teaching them. And positioned correctly, this can outrank them on Google or search engines as well. So if you create courses, programs, blogs, podcasts, content around this topic, and there are easy ways and tools available to repurpose this in multiple ways, you can easily become the go-to source in your marketplace, okay? So I hope this is starting to crystallize and you're able to make some sense out of it. The other advantage to educational content is that there are grants given out to educational organizations. Over $200 billion in funding and grants are given out to educational organizations in the US every single year. So you don't have to go outspend your competitors, because on one side you can get free funding that's already being given to educational organizations and platforms. And just by realigning the way you conduct business and repositioning your law firm with this educational component, this educational center, you have the capacity to go secure free grants. So you can do this on a consistent basis. And by getting free grants and covering expenses or advertising or whatever you choose to spend the grant money for, and obviously every grant program is different, there's some restrictions and conditions, but you can actually outspend your competitors because now you have grants to cover a certain portion of your law firm's operational expenses. So you have more leverage to go out there and advertise and market your services, market who you are in the marketplace. And by doing this, you're educating and empowering people. And when you educate and empower people, guess what? You build goodwill, you build authority, you build trustworthiness, you build longevity in your market. Okay? So that's business transformation. In terms of the marketing transformation, when I'm talking about promoting educational content, you may be asking, hey, I'm an estate lawyer, I'm a criminal lawyer, I'm an immigration lawyer. What type of educational content can I put out? Well, think about law school, think about MBA programs, think about your university, what you attended, or courses that you're online courses you're enrolling into right now. It can be courses, it can be programs, it can be masterminds, memberships, services, products, even apps, okay? Donations, getting donations for your educational content, believe it or not. You can host events, workshops, and even training sessions to distribute your knowledge. Instead of taking this knowledge with you when you leave the world, you can digitize it, leave it behind, build your legacy, and that leads me to my number 4 point, branding transformation. Becoming the educator, becoming the problem solver. And this works in any industry. aviation, bankruptcy, business, contracts, DUI, divorce, entertainment, immigration, medical malpractice, personal injury, surrogacy law, workers' compensation, wills of trust and estates. No matter what type of law firm you run, or maybe you run multiple practices in your law firm, you being the educator, creating the educational content, separating yourself from the rest of your competitors gives you this unfair advantage. Because guess what? I would predict less than 5% of your competitors are using this strategy. Now, with COVID-19 and the virtual law firm model, more and more lawyers are trying to find ways that they can separate themselves from everybody else and at the same time make money online. So making money online virtually is the very basic concept. Yes, you can make it, but how do you do it? It's through this processes. If everybody else is just advertising, how do your ads stand out? How do you stand out? How do you become the hunted in a busy red ocean? It's by becoming the problem solver, becoming the educator. Analyze your competition. Be resourceful. Go online and Google. Type up your competitors and take a look at how many of them have created their own legal education center. Or if you're in some other industry, how many of them have created their own educational based programs and courses and educational centers. I guarantee you, again, it's less than 5% of your competitors out there are using the strategy to separate themselves out of the market. And number 5, the operational transformation. Most people are still doing things very manually. But what you need to do is leverage technology. I mean, we live in a digital age. You're using technology for almost everything else in your life. Chatting with friends, family, loved ones, spouses, customers, clients, cousins, long lost uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, grandkids, whatever it may be. Are you using technology to its fullest potential and to your fullest potential? Are you using it to gain the unfair advantage in your market? If you are a lawyer operating I don't care where you're operating, the legal industry is very slow to integrate and absorb technology. So chances are, even by integrating and letting tech do the heavy lifting in your firm, I'm talking about the systems, the way you attract clients, the sequences that you build, the automation that is inbuilt, the pipelines that you create, the calendar sequences, the emails, the sales, the delivery platforms. All of this put together with technology enables you and positions you in a position or in a situation where you can out-tech your competitors. So the 3 key things I spoke about today. Number 1 is outspending your competitors with grants that you can receive, so you save on overhead, reduce your costs, and you have more money to spend on this educational content. The more you educate, the more clients you can get. Number 2, I spoke about out-teaching your competitors because, quite frankly, very few of them are even teaching stuff. All the intellectual property, all the knowledge, all their expertise is buried deep within them. All you need to do is extract it, digitize it, and put it out there, market it. And number 3 I'm talking about here is out-tech your competitors. So out-teach them, outspend them, and out-tech them. 3 of those components put together. Don't you think that you can gain the unfair market advantage? Absolutely. You're outspending them. You're out-teaching them, reaching and penetrating the market in different angles that they haven't even thought about. And now you have the technological systems and the tools and technologies on the back end to be able to conduct business in a very automated fashion, where maybe they have someone doing a lot of these things manually. For you, technology can do the heavy lifting for 30 to 100 or 200 or even $300 a month. You cover 3-4 of these platforms or components by signing up to different platforms, and now you've just eliminated one full-time employee who's costing you $3,000 a month, or reposition them into something else. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully it is, because this is something very actionable. This is something you can take and put into use right away to gain the unfair advantage. This is how you build a virtual law firm. These are the systems that I have used and mastered, and in my opinion, even perfected to a certain degree. And obviously, we're far from perfect, but perfecting day by day by trying new things, by expanding our horizon, by trying new softwares, by educating people, by taking the knowledge that we have, packaging it up, distributing in a very different way. But this allows us to go into the marketplace in a manner that we've created blue oceans for ourselves. And that's what this is all about. Creating your own blue ocean so that you have no competitors ahead of you. You might have an attorney who competes in the same market offering the same services, but by creating the educational content, by believing that you can become the hunted while they are the hunters, and number three, educating people, becoming the problem solver, the authority, the person that they want to speak to, and finally, by having the tech systems that do all the heavy lifting in a split second where nothing is missed, and believe me, all the technologies exist, you can gain the unfair market advantage and beat competitors. And this is how you gain the unfair advantage in the market. Out-tech them, outspend them, and out-teach them. Okay? I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you understand this in your specific industry and how you can put this together in a matter of days. And by next week, you are in a position where you have three of these components, or at least two of the three components at your disposal, integrated already into your model, so that you can go out there and operate in a blue ocean where you have this unfair advantage. Okay? Thanks again for watching. Sid Padinda here. I'll see you on the next Virtual Law Firm Knowledge Panel.